Now let us continue with this crusade against these worthless, useless mutants and their enabling, deranged owners. Just want to ramble about pit bulls on this video. Been meaning to talk about this for a while. While I do definitely despise people's admiration for dogs in general, I despise people's love for pit bulls the most. These creatures are specifically bred to destroy, to fight, to hurt, to maim, and to cause maximum damage. The people who love these creatures love them for that very reason. They are simply dishonest people who lie and claim that they are attracted to these creatures because they're sweet or whatever other nonsense they come up with. They are attracted to these creatures because they are violent. And they project this image that they are against the idea of projecting pit bulls as violent creatures. That is an outright lie, and their activities on social media proves that it is a lie. Now I can hear the majority of pit bull lovers now saying that they don't raise their pit bull to attack. They only raise theirs with love, etc. Let's deal with that segment of what I believe to be liars. Now, let's say 25%, since there's so many of them that want to profess that they raise their pit bull with love. Let's say only 25% of all pit bull owners teach their dog to attack. That means that the majority of severe attacks, the majority of deaths, and pit bulls are always in the top 3 for attacks in general, that is all committed by 1.5% of the total dog population. How is that possible if breed has nothing to do with it? It is a lie. The majority of dog maulings are committed by 6% of the total dog population. That's pit bulls, right? But you got to keep in mind, over 1 million pit bulls are in shelters. They are not all free. So even if all pit bull owners taught pit bulls to attack and to be vicious, that's still a tiny percentage to be responsible for the majority of severe attacks. When we talk about severe attacks, trips to the hospital, again, we are talking about nearly 1 million victims, where the majority are children. But if you want to claim that you raise yours with love, you'll be hard pressed to find anyone who admits to raising pit bulls to be violent. The more of you that claim to raise them to not be violent, the worse it looks on pit bulls, because that means an even smaller percentage of pit bulls are responsible for the majority of attacks. Now, we all know about the disproportionate statistics on pit bulls. And most of you have seen this video, or at least know of this man. He trains pit bulls to attack. This video has over 75 million views. He really blew up on YouTube. But as you can see, the majority of people gave the video a thumbs up. Now, how is that possible? If the majority of pit bull lovers are against pit bulls being projected as violent. Some people might say that the video earned these thumbs up because the dog was shown in a family setting. So here's another video by this same man. And this video focuses on training the pit bull to attack. Over 8 million views, 88,000 thumbs up, compared to 3.8 thousand thumbs down. Here's another video by a different trainer, totally focused on training pit bulls to attack. Over 16 million views, double that of the previous video. 139,000 thumbs up compared to 6.8 thousand thumbs down. How is that possible? Keep in mind, many of the thumbs down is from people who don't own pit bulls. So it is very likely that every pit bull lover gave these videos a thumbs up. Right? If the majority of them were against training them to attack, these videos will have more thumbs down than up. And the majority of comments would speak against the video. They don't. They will be against the idea of pit bulls being projected as violent. And these videos will be offensive, right, to that train of thought. That's not the case. They watch these videos and they gawk over them. They get off on it. They love it. So when they say it's all about how you raise them, keep in mind, they're fully aware that most pit bull owners raise their pit bulls to be aggressive, or at the very least admire the fact that pit bulls have an aggressive, violent reputation. The ratings on these videos prove it. And how can you trust a person like that to raise a pit bull without raising it to be aggressive, if that is exactly what they admire about the dog? Which is, to me, just disgusting. You love this creature because it has a reputation of ripping children apart. You have to be a very immoral and disgusting human being. And I don't find any justification for anybody to be in love with these creatures and to praise their existence. You are the very definition of disgusting. And whenever you hear of these reports about a dog that has been abandoned or killed, left for dead, beaten, shot, it's usually a pit bull. Because as I've talked about before, some people take matters into their own hands. Rather than call animal control after a pit bull mauls their child, they want to kill it themselves. They don't want the dog to die a painless death while their child is there in pain. So just as pit bulls are the majority in shelters, right? I didn't mention that. The majority in shelters, yet they are 6% of the total dog population. That's not coincidence. They are also the most euthanized. They are the majority in situations of civil justice as well, where citizens take it upon themselves to punish and kill pit bulls themselves. That is not a coincidence. Dogs are euthanized every day as if that is a solution. It is not. As if dogs are aware that they're being euthanized and will eventually change their behavior to avoid being euthanized. Right? Euthanizing dogs is not the same as, say, the death sentence or incarceration for humans. Laws in place to punish criminals actually help to discourage them from criminal activity. And we get in this mindset that euthanization for dogs is what capital punishment is for human. It is not. Euthanization is 100% reactive. There's nothing proactive about it, just like there's nothing proactive about breed-specific legislation. While I do object to breed-specific laws being removed, I do not think they are effective. Simply raising the insurance cost or whatever for owners does not prevent attacks. The only thing that prevents it is to outlaw these creatures and carry out a systematic extermination process and rid the planet of these worthless mutants. And it supports this idea that dogs are not acting on instinct, euthanization, as if dogs are being euthanized for abnormal behavior. No, they're being euthanized for behaving like dogs, for behaving as they naturally are designed to behave. This is especially true for pit bulls. You know, they use this euthanization as if, oh, this dog blacked out and now is behaving as something other than a dog. No, we need to keep that close in mind. They are killing these mutts for acting the way they are supposed to act. That is not a solution. The statistics on pit bulls provide irrefutable justification for breed-specific legislation, but I think that should be in the form of extermination. Hundreds of thousands of pit bull lovers showing public admiration for videos that train pit bulls to be vicious. That is a dangerous sign. Many of these pit bulls that are given to shelters are given away because they're not vicious enough for the owner's liking. Pit bull owners are the extremists among dog lovers. They are actually bloodthirsty people. There is no way I could be aware of the number of innocent people, kids, babies, mauled by pit bulls and look at that creature and see anything attractive. People should be disgusted by the very sight of a pit bull. All dogs in general, but especially pit bulls. That's why pit bull lovers are the worst among the whole group. Majority of them admire the dog because it's vicious and dangerous and has such a destructive reputation. And they continue to praise the existence of these mutts, even in the face of disproportionate statistics that they are aware of. They like to point out that Chihuahuas bite more often, which is a pathetic display of desperation in my opinion. This is 6% of the total dog population, responsible for the majority of severe attacks, perhaps attacks in general, and the majority of deaths. Heard one doctor say that all pit bulls should be spayed and neutered so that they cannot reproduce. He co-signed a systematic extermination process. This is a doctor. Without question, they should be exterminated. I don't care how many pit bulls there are that have never attacked anybody yet. The statistics on these particular mutts speaks much louder than any individual pit bull that has not attacked anyone yet. None of them should be trusted to not attack anyone in the future. The statistics makes it obvious. Canadian columnist Barbara Kay, many of you may know her, pointed out how in areas where pit bulls were banned, severe injuries due to dog attacks decreased significantly. Obviously, if the majority are committed by pit bulls, right? So there's no valid argument against breed-specific legislation, none whatsoever, when they yield results that are positive, that keep people safe. Hopefully this country wakes up and bans pit bulls in all states, carries out an extermination process for the remaining pit bulls that are in these shelters, as well as Rottweilers and any other. And I'm talking, when I say pit bull, I mean all bully types. I know you pit bull nuts like to get into this nonsense about how it's not really a pit bull. It's a Staffordshire bull terrier, a bull this. They're all bully breeds. I don't give a damn what kind of bully. You know what a bully breed is, and they should all be wiped clean from the planet. I don't even listen to these dog nuts singing this pit bull gospel of how it's about how you raise them, as if you can love their genetics and instincts out of them. The evidence does not support that. You have some people who are more efficient at training dogs than others among all breeds. If pit bulls were no different from other breeds, they would not account for such disproportionate statistics. Nobody's conspiring against pit bulls for what? Many dog nuts themselves want pit bulls to be banned. Their comments are all over YouTube by the thousands. Many of the surgeons who support banning pit bulls are dog owners. You think people simply don't like the way pit bulls look or something? Pit bulls have the reputation they have because of what they are, because they created it, not because of what people have forced onto them. Nobody has forced some false propaganda onto these mutts. when you do the research, you find that the dog responsible for these severe attacks or deaths was usually a pit bull. And they claim these disproportionate statistics is the fault of the owners. But every pit bull owner you talk to will claim to raise it with love. So you're dealing with a bunch of liars. You can't even deal with what the owners are telling you. Even though, again, looking at the videos on YouTube of pit bulls being trained to attack, most pit bull lovers embrace the viciousness of pit bulls. Liars. There are only about 3.6 million pit bulls in this country total. And about 1.2 of them are in shelters. That leaves you with 2.4 million out of 80 to 90 million dogs committing the majority of severe attacks and deaths. And then always in the top 3 in attacks in general. And you telling me the breed has nothing to do with it? Even if it's the result of the owner training pit bulls to attack, they are training that specific breed. So the breed is a factor, because when they purchase that breed, they want to train it to attack. But it is a combination of both. And I believe that even if they did not raise these mutts to attack, they would still lead in severe injuries, deaths, and would be in the top 3 for attacks in general, because they are just more aggressive and they are designed to cause maximum damage when they attack and to not stop until their victim is dead. People claim the breed has nothing to do with it simply because they ran across a couple pit bull mutts that have not attacked anybody yet. People kill me how they spend a few weeks or months or even years with a pit bull and claim that it's harmless when people have been attacked or had their kids attacked by their own pit bull that they've had for years from a puppy. And it's always a pit bull when you read about these dogs that they've had since a puppy and one day it snapped and attacked. But seeing that we have irrefutable evidence that the vast majority of pit bull owners actually appreciate a pit bull that is trained to attack, they should definitely be banned and exterminated by the government. These ratings don't lie. These comments don't lie. This is not a reflection of the majority of pit bull lovers being against pit bulls being trained to be violent. When I pointed out how the negative impact of dogs on society far outweighs any service dogs provide, that truth is amplified in regard to pit bulls several times over. Had a viewer post an excellent article. Actually, it's out of a blog. I'll leave the link in the description box. I'm going to quote it here. Out of all of the hundreds of different sorts of pets you can introduce into your community, bring into your home, around your kids, around your nieces and nephews, around your neighbors' kids, why go with the one type whose name appears most often on the fatal maulings list? End quote. You have to be a disgusting human being to be in love with pit bulls. 2.6 million owned by citizens in the country, with almost 200 million adults in this small demographic responsible for the majority of serious attacks and deaths, possibly attacks in general. At the very least, they are in the top 3 in attacks in general. Not only do you have to question the breed, you have to question the type of person who would own such a creature, who would be obsessed and crazy about such creatures. You have to question their sanity. The dog culture as a whole is mind-boggling enough. But in regard to pit bulls, it is obvious we're dealing with sociopaths and control freaks on a much higher level. I seriously advise people to carry protection. obtain a gun license, carry a deadly weapon in response to dog lovers, especially pit bulls, pit bull owners, who are also permitted by law to carry deadly weapons. But unlike you, dog owners, especially pit bull owners, they have deadly weapons that have minds of their own, and those minds are naturally wired to attack.